Hi, Danny Gregory here, wearing my new industrial glasses, and I'm going to take you on a tour of another one of my ancient journals. In this case, volume number 3 of many. And you can see some of the early stuff that I did. I'm going to try and shoot it also in a less sick-making way, using a tripod, and I'll try and be more steady in my shot, as a few people complained last time that my handheld technique was making them lose their lunch. Hand bound by me ages ago. It's volume number 3. 1997, boy. So, lots of drawings, lots of little bits of marginalia. I was drawing primarily with one pen at this point, possibly 2 different ones, using brush markers to add a little bit of color in the background. Had some tone, big initial caps, that was one of my things in those days. Flocks of copy. This is done in the winter, so there's a fair amount of drawing done from photographs. Let me just flip through a bit more quickly. A lot of these drawings end up in Everyday Matters because this is kind of the training grounds for the stuff that I was doing when I first started to draw. I was only allowing myself a couple of shades of gray at this point just to kind of be disciplined. This is actually the opening of Everyday Matters right there. My handwriting was pretty crude, and I was just not taking much care with my calligraphy. I started to get a bit more careful about things, a bit more ornamental over time. It's a real hodgepodge of drawings from a bar, drawings from photographs, the view out the window of my apartment. There's Frank, our dog, sleeping. That's a restaurant near my house. Tugboats. And all kinds of drawings. Every so often I would do a drawing outside of my book and paste it in. This is quite nice. It's a view of Washington Square Park. Up there, some little mini cars. I was starting to take pictures and draw from them. I had just gotten my first digital camera with a big lens viewer, so I could take pictures of my family from overhead. I have a big collection of old yearbooks, and it's interesting to see all the different faces. They're kind of good portrait material, portrait fodder. A lot of these are buildings in our neighborhood with weird histories that I was writing about. The Ravenite Social Club, where John Gotti and the Gambino family hung out. Hell's Angels. More scenes from my neighborhood where I worked. Again, a lot of it drawn with a couple of different micron pens and 2 or 3 different warm gray brush markers. People who work in booths. Leaves. These are from a portrait class that I went to. Drawing from life. Quite a nice drawing, but again I started to wonder to myself, why am I drawing these total strangers with such detail? But again, lousy handwriting, that's really the thing that strikes me when I look back at this. Quite nice use of design of the page there. You're writing little bits of poetry inside of a series of dumpsters. I call this here Welcome to the Ugly Page. Every book has at least one. Sitting around the kitchen. You can see I'm hankering more and more to break out of this pure gray thing here and getting more ornamental. more sort of complex with my drawing here. Quite nice actually. Oh, this, I collect taxidermy, and this is some of the pieces in my house. We've got dozens of them. Here's a raccoon playing baseball. Here are presidents drawing off coins. Inside of a plane. I've drawn that view so many times, the insides of planes. And this is the garage near my house. I forgot about that drawing. People in the wedding announcements in the New York Times. There's Jack when he was really little, eating dinner on his lap. Some old cars. My drawings are getting a bit looser here. Nice detailed drawing of a hamburger. Frank sleeping. Suddenly switching to a much heavier pen. I was drawing this at St. Patrick's. It's quite likely that I didn't have my usual pen with me there. Still life of the stuff around me. One of Jack's Batmans. This is a wooden cart that we had in our house, always piled with stuff being pushed around the house. Outline contour drawings of stuff, probably drawn without even looking. These are really nice, more carefully drawn, slower drawings of animals, and probably drawn primarily from... Oh yeah, these are drawn at the Museum of Natural History. A little lunchtime trip that I took there one day. It's a nice cow. A glass plate left over from some salad. Again, this painterly treatment with the brush pens is really nice, I think, and was probably the beginnings of my desire to do this watercolor stuff. Then finally I drew this with an ugly pen, big, thick, fat calligraphy pen lying on my back, drawing the lamps on the ceiling. So I was trying to make it as difficult for myself as possible. And there you go, that's that volume.